Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round 10 of season 26 of the PlayStation Gaming Leagues. It is the F1, it is the top tier, and it is the Chinese Grand Prix at Shanghai. We can see here something that Daniel Ricciardo forgot very recently. In fact, yesterday, we can see a shoey. That is, of course, Shanghai, the spot where Daniel Ricciardo sort of introduced us to that whole tradition that he brought with him from Australia. And it is certainly a track that has a lot of interesting things about it. Let's quickly look at the race info as we are waiting for the drivers to get underway with qualifying and then obviously the race later on. We see the Shanghai International Circuit here, 5.45 kilometers long. The first Grand Prix here in 2004, one of the Tilkedromes, one of the tracks built and designed by Hermann Tilke to explore new frontiers, so to speak, to find new countries to race in. And we see here 16 corners around this track. Of course, the very specific ones are turns 1, 2, 3, the snail corner, and then, of course, turns 11, 12, 13, the other snail corner, if you will, onto the long straight in the final sector. We see as well the difference between the tires. The soft tire 1.3 seconds quicker than the medium, which itself is only 0.7 seconds faster than the hards. We also see the C2, C3, and C4 compounds. The pit stop strategy right there. And the recent results, those are from season 23. That was 3 seasons ago. Lee Findlay was the last one to win here at the Shanghai International Circuit, with Odom second and Louis back then for ILRT in third. Of course, he has switched teams now. He is with BDG. However, it also needs to be said that Louis isn't here tonight. We're going to get into that a bit later. Let's look back at the results from Japan last week. Of course, it was Christmas, celebrating his first victory for Haas. Thyman second, Blizzard third, Onyx fourth, and with that, Racing Point has taken the lead in the Constructors' Championship. You see the results right there. We go over now to the Constructor Championship. You see that it is 14 points that Racing Point leads ahead of Williams, with just 4 points then from Williams to AlphaTauri. So it's all still very, very close at the top. In the drivers' standings, it's actually a bit further apart. Gil on 69 points has a 10-point lead over Vasta Racer, but Onyx put himself back into business with his result last week. 54 now. He is certainly within striking distance. One win from Onyx, and he could be the championship leader after tonight's race. Of course, one person we have to talk about is Christmas. He got the driver of the day last week as well with the fantastic victory. 58% of the votes. That is a very, very convincing victory there for driver of the day. And one look back to season 21 as well. There's something interesting here. China, 5 seasons ago, CRG Gamer, back when he wasn't at CRG, won that race. Blizzard got second and Louis got third. So a couple of drivers here with very, very good memories, very fond memories of this track. And let's see how they're coming along tonight as I now bring in, of course, but at this point, I mean, you are the voice of PSGL. It's, of course, Owen Wyatt. Owen, how are you doing tonight?
Hello, Austin. Hello, viewers. Having a lovely Monday evening. And we're looking forward to China. We've got very happy memories of this place, of course, haven't we? We had that esports race at the end of F1 2019. An absolute classic, wasn't it? I believe it was Danny and Casper just went wheel to wheel every single lap. Some of the best races we saw in the last game. So as much as the drivers hate it, they're going to hate that even more. The rain's turned up for qualifying. And yeah, honestly, drivers hate it. But I think as commentators, we got to say we love this place.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because one thing about this is this track is that it really, really, really does not allow for an easy one-stop strategy. You saw on the race info, it showed one-stop strategy is possible. medium to hard, and even soft to hard. However, the soft to hard is very, very dangerous to do. You do get into puncture territory. The soft tires do not last around here, and so I'm a bit worried with this weather. I hope that in the next 17 minutes and 15 seconds it does clear up, and we do see drivers go on to either soft or medium tires, certainly dry tires, because it makes it more interesting.
Well, it gives them a dilemma, actually, doesn't it, this? Because they'll qualify on interest, and then that might give them an extra lap or two of no running on softs. And so that might give them that dilemma anyway of what tire to go on to. Although I do sort of tend to agree that it would be mediums anyway, but still, a wet qualifying could switch the grid up anyway. And with a challenge of being so close, I mean, Jordan's already bent it on his out lap, so that shows how difficult it is around here. These long sweeping corners, easy to lose the back end in. So certainly, even though we're losing that, fight for P11 as it was, you'll still get that to an extent. And wet conditions just mean you might get a more interesting grid, because when the challenge was switching all the time, we had Gale had a bad one last time. This is exactly what he probably didn't want coming in, but worth remembering, by the way. I know we don't mention it at all, but there is actually a prize for the champions this season. We never really mentioned it, but it is 120 quid for the winner.
Yeah,
quid for second and 30 quid for third.
I was about to say, not just that.
They're looking for better sessions than this, because at this point, I'm sure someone might be thinking, oh man, we've got money here on the line. I sort of want to make sure I win this thing.
Yeah, certainly, that is something that I think at this point in the season, round 10 of 14, this is where it starts to cross the drivers' minds a little bit. Of course, during the race, it's not going to be any of their focus. But right now, when you load into a lobby, you start thinking, hey, you know what, it would be nice if you're high up in the championship, if you're someone like Gil, if you're someone like Vosterace or like Onyx, you're starting to think, that would be pretty nice, having 120 quid in the bank account extra.
Right then. Well, they won't be thinking about it, as you say, now, but certainly if we get them in the podium interviews, which are returning this week, all being well, we might well ask them about that. But we have got quali apps going on now. Jordan was the first one to cross the line, and you can already see, if you're watching him, just how much he struggled out of turn, I think, 3 and 4, just all over the show. He's got no traction. And I'd expect the same for most of the lap. This is, again, why these drivers tend to do multiple laps on a wet qualifying stint. You'll tend to see this go back and forth, fast lap, slow lap, but not into the pits. They'll do 3 or 4 laps on a set of inters, because eventually low fuel, better confidence, and more rubber than tires means these will be quicker and quicker. And it's who judges it right, because right now this tire for Jordan not ready.
Yeah, he invalidated there on the exit at turn 10. You can see how much he was struggling, how much he was sliding off the track there completely with all 4 wheels, and so that is his lap over. Now, have you caught who the next driver is behind him? Oh, as he slides again. Oh my goodness, yeah. Turn 13 is a very, very tricky one there. It's the corner that opens up, but in the wet, I mean, you start sliding midway through, trying to catch it, you start sliding again. It's a corner where you're just constantly sliding. I mean, this could be, if these weren't Formula cars, if these weren't open wheelers with their wings and everything at the massive downforce, as we have a racing point behind there. Who is that?
Onyx.
That's Onyx.
The next car. He's going wide. Look at that. How little grip he's got. It's crazy.
Yeah. Generally, if these weren't open wheelers, 1 minute 45.9. So I think that's a very good lap time to start things off here. If these weren't open wheelers, it probably would be faster to drift out of that turn 13. But because they have so much downforce, even in the rain, you're probably more likely to still try and hold it together as much as possible. But you see, the times are just falling already. Could this be the sign that maybe, just maybe, we see, as we have Sparks now going into the 1 minute 44, is even 1 second faster than his CRG companion Onyx. Could this be the sign that maybe it's getting weaker and we might see some dry running towards the end?
It's still tipping it down. I think it's just some people are adapting better than others. I mean, you see Sparks go up there to the top. He was at the top anyway before Leon got him, but then his teammate is 2.5 seconds off. It's just some people are adapting quicker than others. And certainly looking at the rain, it's definitely still into right now at a good stage. I've heard very odd Discord sounds. I don't know if I'm still in the thing or if you're still in the thing.
We're still here, yeah.
We are still here, right. I'll just ignore my Discord then.
It's alright, it happens, it happens.
It's so many noises, man.
Yeah, as we have Semi been moving up to P4 now. And I think one thing that would be interesting to know, unfortunately we don't, but would be interesting to know how many of these drivers have actually done some wet weather practice, because usually the way, at least I know, and the way I used to do it back when I was league racing a long time ago, we're talking probably before the First World War, I never did any wet weather practice unless it was a track where I knew it could happen, where I was like, okay, Britain, you know, Germany, fair enough, and well, where else is it typical to just chuck it down very often?
Singapore is the biggest one, isn't it?
Yeah.
You'd never think it, but it is. It happens every single year, on every single game, no matter how unlikely you think it would be coming in. And you turn up and you think, oh, it's just tipping it down again.
Yeah, Malaysia used to be one where I was always practicing back in the day when it was on the calendar. As I say, it was a long time when I was league racing, so a long time ago. But China, you know, the question is, who of these drivers? Oh my god, a semi-bean goes off there. Jesus, that is turn 13 once again. Well held at the end of the day, but of course, that lap is all for nothing, as I want to get a different camera here. Thanks, Codemasters, for that. But yeah, it's not really a track where you start to think, you go into the weekend, you think, oh yeah, it's definitely gonna rain here. That's not what China is. It's a track where, yeah, sometimes it can rain, sometimes it can't, and more often than not, it actually does. Lots, like, very surprising in general, but I don't think too many drivers have done some sort of wet weather practice. Maybe Gil did, but then again, you know, I can already hear the critics saying, oh, pad OP once again. And maybe there is something to it in the rain. I don't know. I'm driving on pad and I don't find it easy to drive in the rain, to be honest. But yeah, maybe someone can enlighten me. But I mean,
just ask JD.
Yeah. Yes, but I mean, oh, and you're driving. What are you driving with? Pad or wheel?
I'm relaxed. I don't drive anymore, but obviously when I used to, it was on the pad. I mean, maybe it's not a coincidence that the two races I won last season in my championship winning F3 season, by the way, they happened to be wet races. So I guess you can make a case for the pad being better in these conditions, because if I can win a championship thanks to wet races helping me out on the pad, then yeah, not on this game, mind you, but you get the picture.
Well, the previous game.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah, I mean, well, Vasa Racer moves up to P3, 144.5, but I mean, Gil, 44.1, 3/10 clear off of for everyone. It is, he's driving in a different league right now, it feels like. We have the, as we always say in the real F1, you have the F1 with Mercedes, and then you have the F1.5. And, you know, Verstappen is in the F1, and Albon's in the F1.5, and everyone else is also in the F1.5. And it's not that much right now. I mean, it's 3/10. But it's just, you look how close everyone else is. The difference between Gil and Sparks is the same. In fact, it is bigger than the difference between Sparks and Juice in P8.
I mean, Juice was up there as well, though, at the start. So yeah. I do wonder where that pace went on. Maybe Gil really has just unleashed a superb lap. Still half the session to go, so I would still expect him to go down a bit more. But certainly if Gil keeps this up, he'll be absolutely loving life. Certainly needs it as well, doesn't he, after last week, which wasn't expected horror class, has to be said, but certainly didn't help his championship hopes.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, this is where it heats up now. We have 5 races left to go. This is one of them. And then in 4 weeks' time, at the latest. What?
Well, we did do Hamilton, but it was no gravel trap. Luckily.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. This is something that they fixed after 2000 and when was it? 2008? 2009?
I don't know. I think the
Somewhere
gravel was
late
like-
2000s. This is what they fixed around this track, where they took the gravel trap away. Because I mean, why was there a gravel trap to begin with? There's no reason for.
track. They made it like a corner so you can't cheese it, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, there was no reason for a gravel trap to be there. So they've just, put some runoff area there, put some tarmac there, and that was that. But I mean, Vasa Racing are up to second place, so this is the championship battle right here. Onyx, who's third in the standings, I mean, he's a bit down, but he's still certainly in there. In the pits right now as well, 7 minutes left. As you said, usually you would expect the drivers to come out of the pit lane now, and plenty have done, but of the top 8, 6 are still in the pit lane. Only Vasa Racing and Sparks are out. What's going on there?
Yeah, I think they actually might be even finishing their first runs. No, 4 laps on those tires now. Weird one, that Vast Racer and Jordan. So it's obviously Sparks out there. Also, Liam's out there. Do you reckon Liam's going to go to the end from here? Just keep going round and round. He was near the top earlier on, and he's back up there now. So, yeah, maybe he will just stay out and finish this one. So
I mean,
around him.
Yeah, at this point, his intermediate tires now are only 1 timed lap old, so out lap +1. Tells me that he's definitely going to go to the end on these in this qualifying session, and he might actually have the best shot, to be honest. I mean, last week it was his teammate Christmas, who, from what I can tell, isn't here tonight. Or am I just missing him? No, he's not here.
He's not. I think
So only one has. I mean,
replaces him, doesn't he? Actually, because Table Clan.
Oh yeah, Table Clan, yeah.
Yeah, so.
So Liam is replacing Christmas for tonight. I mean, he's using the car already at this point. Why not continue where Christmas left off?
Exactly. That's really coming on song. Good to see them actually. 1-6. Zach went up to P5 as well. He's also replacing what do you call him?
Tactician.
Tactician, thank you.
Yeah.
His teammate's just gone 4th, mind you, but Renner looking nice and strong as well in these conditions. As Fabi now goes up to the top, he was having a few spells up there as well earlier on in the session. And yeah, expect these times to ramp up quite a lot towards the end here. Rain is a little lighter than it was at the start of the track. Like I say, more rubbered in, and that's proof of it as Prinens smashes Fabi's lap by 3/10.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fantastic lap already, but I don't think this is the end of it. I think we'll get into the mid 143s, maybe 143.4, 143.5, I reckon. But certainly this is a fantastic lap considering what stage of qualifying we're at right now. Sparks going second, 43.9, so he's 0.2 off there. But I mean, it really is that for a lot of drivers, they're using this. Not only is it the smarter way to do with these tires, because they do take some time to heat up, they do take some time to get up to temperature and, get their perfect grip. As Zach, wow, 43.5, as I just speculated. There it is. But they get better, and you don't burn, or you don't burn that much fuel, and so it works fine. As Aero leaves the session, let's hope he can rejoin in the next 4 minutes, and he should be fine. But it's also that for the drivers, obviously this mode of running makes it easier to get used to the situation, get used to the conditions on track.
Yeah, well, this is sort of why it goes faster and faster. You get up at that second one, you know exactly what you're dealing with now. And you would expect the time to keep going down that. I mean, we're saying 43. We've still got, it has to be said, the big guns, as it were, from earlier to set their extra times. Gil, for instance, is currently now 8th. He was at the top earlier, just 2 minutes ago. So we'll see him come round now and see what he can do. Even Liam, he's been back in the pits actually, so he's going to go for another set of tires. I'm surprised by that. I guess he didn't have the fuel.
Yeah, could be.
Here is Gil anyway. Let's see what he does.
Yeah, around the final corner. He was a quarter of a second up, so that could put him up to P4 right now, I think. Oh, and the final sector gains another 0.4 and goes up to provisional pole, 143.4. Wow. That final sector was something else from him compared to his previous final sector. I think probably in his last lap, or his previous best lap. He must have made a mistake maybe in the second snail corner, turns 11, 12, 13.
Could just be again that track evolution. I'm on board with Feynman, and you can see the line there so well rubbered in. It's certainly much better than it was at the start of the session, where it was just all evenly soaked. So they might all be improving in that last sector, actually. And
at this point,
Feynman does, by the way, because he and Onyx are way down right now. I think that's Recon, by the way, P3.
Yeah.
But here comes Feynman then. His teammate just behind.
I mean, a couple seconds
Feynman
behind.
Goes
P1.
P1. Will Onyx replace him?
Yes.
Yes, he will. Still 2 minutes though. So
yeah, I mean, at this point, it needs to be said. I think the pole sitter is probably going to be the driver who comes across the line last without invalidating.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Obviously, depends who, but certainly if it's one of those top runners, yeah, definitely last of the top runners across the line gets it. As Jordan goes P8, I believe Tibble Clan's right behind him.
I want to see. I think the last one. Oh wow, the last one to come across the line before the sort of 1 minute 45 mark was Sparks. So that's certainly a name that could definitely move himself up there. But he's on his outlap, so he's only got this one lap left to do it. So yeah, maybe it's not going to be him. Who's ahead of him there? That's a Williams. Is that Prinens? Is that, I think that might be, no, it's Vasa Racer. Okay, Vasa Racer will have a second lap. He's on it 1 right now, already improving by a 10th and a half. Mish, meanwhile, who is replacing BDG Louis tonight, has got up to P1, 1 minute 43.1, and that is a fantastic lap for the situation right now. 2.5 tenths ahead of Onyx.
Just gonna mention, by the way, I believe the timer might be a little bit iffy again because Zach has only just come out of the pits, and I doubt he'd leave it this late to come out because, well, there's no point coming out. His teammate as well has come out even later. Yeah. So I do wonder the time's a bit off, but we'll find out, obviously. As there are more laps being completed now, we have got Feynman actually starting one, and there's a lot of other cars. We've almost got a pile up in that last corner. Oh wow, queuing up.
And here comes Vasa Racer trying to get a lap in, and that might be ruined completely by that traffic. And not completely, he does move up to P7, still improves by 7 tenths, but I mean, you're starting to wonder what could have been. How much could he have improved? As we do see the timer now running out, and in fact, a couple people did leave it too late.
And Tail Clan has just taken P1. Will we end up in the 20, in the 42s, I should say, not 20?
We could.
Not that quick.
Who's next? I think a Mercedes is what I see there. That is Mish. He was on pole. He's coming through the hairpin. 1 more corner left to go.
He's up. He should be on for this here. As he comes around the last corner. Bit of a cut, but that could help him out. As he comes to the line. Are we in the 42s? Yes, we are.
Yes, we are 42.8. But I don't think this is the last we've seen. As who just came across the, I don't even know. Oh, there you go. Juice second, 42.9.
Zach starts a lap.
Huh.
So the timer wasn't 0. I guess they were just in the pits, the guys at the fence or something. I don't know what.
I do not understand. Maybe the ones with the checkered flag are not out. Maybe it's a visual glitch.
We've got Feynman coming through, but Gil is on an absolute flyer here. He's tracking P1. Didn't see what Feynman's middle sector was, but we're going to find out what his final time's going to be as he comes to the line. Where's Feynman? He's P1, but I believe Gil was going quicker. Let's see if he can execute. Oh, yes he does.
Wow, 42.2.
Now we're really getting those times down. Sven's out to P6. Onyx just goes up to P2 now. Sammy Bean's coming round. I believe there's another one. There was a Master Racer going P5. I believe Sammy Bean and Zach are both on laps, and they will both get to finish them, despite the game telling us that they aren't on laps. They are.
Oh, Sammy Bean off, and Sammy Bean has retired.
Right, he's given up. And look at that. Zach's been blocked by Mishi, so he's done as well. I don't think that's even a card that's in play. He's a card that's not even in play there, so I don't think you can
he slows
give
down
any
now.
penalties.
He slows
you can't
down
give
now.
any penalties to Mishi because he's already finished. And Zach's not happy about that, is he? Zach is not happy.
He's slowing down the AI there. He's not happy about that.
I think
he's
realizing now that, it's AI that I'm beefing with, should probably move on.
Yeah.
But that means that it is Gil then on pole by 0.3 of a second, nearly 0.4 of a second, at 42.2. Worth pointing out though that Liam is in that second pole position, we're starting to call it, or as I am, P11. Especially on this track, that could be quite handy. Maybe more on the dry, but still, I don't think it's a place he wouldn't mind being in. I think everyone would be happy enough there, and he's in that spot.
If you are if the qualifying is in wet weather, P11 means nothing, I think, because everyone's gonna have fresh tires to start the race. So,
well, we'll see what others do, I guess. But I do sort of agree with you there.
Yeah,
but, we'll find out what they do.
Yeah, true. But yeah, look at the top 5. We have Gil, we have Onyx, and then in P5 at the top 2 on the front row, and then we have Vasta Racer in P5. So the 3 championship favorites right now, the top 3 in the championship right now, are all in the top 5 as Gil takes pole position ahead of Onyx. Thyman in 3rd, he's also still in that championship. Prinnin's in 4th, Vasta Racer 5th, Mish replacing Louis in 6th. Maybe this is something that Mercedes are looking at, thinking, you know what? If this guy can get points, maybe this could be a replacement there. Juice P7, Sven 8, TableClan 9, Zach 10, Liam 11, Fabi 12, Recon 13, Sammy Bean 14, Jordan 15, Blizzard down in 16th, Spark 17, Ash Best 18, and who's that 19? The name doesn't show. Arrow. There you go. Thank you very much. I just saw the Dutch flag. I thought it was Arrow, but I wasn't sure.
I've got to say, I hope we don't have to do another restart for him. Because we had to do that last time when he couldn't come
did he
back.
rejoin?
I don't know if he did or not.
Ooh.
I mean, is that really our fault, though?
He had 4 minutes.
It's the second week in a row.
He had 4 minutes. I mean...
He must be here. Is he here?
No. His name is not in the list.
It's not here, but it's the second week in a row it's happened, man.
Also, we have dry weather for the start, as it seems.
I don't want to wait for another start, man.
Yeah. The question is, what is the call now? I'm trying to keep an eye out on the... Arrow was trying to get in.
We're not restarting.
Yeah, seems like it.
I think it's been confirmed there by Connor, I believe. That's what at least this is someone.
Yeah, okay. We won't be restarting for Arrow. That is very unfortunate for him, but we will not be restarting for him. So yeah, that is the situation right now. As the drivers are now readying up, they have their the setup is chosen at the start of qualifying, obviously, but they have chosen their strategy now. And they are about to get underway for the formation lap.
Of course, that setup in qualifying, how much did that influence the lap? Did people go for quali pace? Did people go for race pace? And look at this. I don't know how many times I've seen this before. I'm sure it's happened plenty of times, but the whole field is starting on hards. Obviously, Air's not here, so don't count, but the whole field is on hards.
Wow, okay. That is interesting. Did not expect that.
Interesting. I mean, they want to be on the fast tires at the end, don't they?
Yeah. If everyone's on the alternate strategy, then no one's on the alternate strategy.
And this means that they might well look at softs as well, because at the end of the race, lighter fuel loads, softs become a much more viable option.
Definitely, yes. Definitely. This could get really interesting towards the end.
We're gonna have to. Now. This is gonna be.
I can tell you, we're gonna have to keep an eye out on the fastest lap, because that can drop every single time. We're gonna have to keep an eye out on overtakes. This could get really frantic. Imagine a safety car here around maybe lap. What do you do? Laps. Let's say laps 18. Safety car lap 18. What do you do? You go on mediums?
Soft.
Do you go on soft?
Easy.
Soft, okay.
Soft's easy. I think if it's like 10 laps to go, I think that's when they'd fancy pitting anyway. I mean, maybe a little later than
that's a bit early, lap 18. You want to go... I would say if you use the softest, Arrow has rejoined during the formation lap, but I think...
We've already had it confirmed.
He has left the session again, yeah.
Yeah, so why did he rejoin?
He's joined again.
We're not restarting for him. Oh, please go away.
Oh. No, I think he was just trying to see that everything works and he can actually rejoin. But he's not allowed to take his car because there's obviously there's a glitch where you're basically allowed to corner cut as much as you want if you just join the lobby.
I'm not trying to be mean, by the way, but I'm just very excited for the race start. This is very interesting. This is good. And it's very interesting on the tires.
Yeah, but this is going to be interesting. Are they going to go for the softs? Or are they going to go for mediums? Because
mediums have the length, haven't they?
And they do definitely
easily. They can do half the race
easily.
But softs, they've got pace. It depends how long, obviously, they'll have it for. But we'll see what they decide to do. And safety cars could have a bearing on it, but we are lining up on the grid now. Every single driver who takes a start will take it on the hards. And this could ruin your race if you have any sort of incidents as well. So this will be a very interesting race start. And it is Gil on pole, it is Onyx on second. Fantastic grid. Vast Racer, as we say, is in fifth as well. And we are just waiting for some lights now. Haven't got any on mine.
We're still waiting, we're still waiting.
Come on. Let me wait, I swear.
Yeah, something's wrong.
This is karma, isn't it?
Is Aero still in the lobby? Because he might have to leave. I don't know if it's him, but, you know.
Well,
he's not allowed to race anyway, so if he leaves, if he's the one holding it up, you know, it might be smart. There you go.
What's he doing here? Sorry, being mean. 5 lights then. Here in Shanghai, it's Gil on the right, and it's Onyx on the left, and what a start for Onyx. He should lead that one straight away. He got a fantastic launch, and I wonder if Gil might be under a bit of pressure, but actually in the second phase, we see Onyx fall back, and that is a spinning Williams of Prudence, and down the inside goes Onyx, and he's going to hit Gil. Oh my goodness, look at that side-by-side all the way around. We got a Haas up as well. I have no idea what happened to Onyx on that start, whether he jumped it or had to back up or whatever, but he's on his way past Gil now. On the way, it's the end of the first sector, surely on the inside of turn 6 to get that one done, but he's a bit too deep, and surely Gil will have another look on him. Side by side into the S's on lap 1 on the hards. This is a bad idea, guys, but you're gonna go for it anyway. Flashbacks to the esports event. 2 completely different drivers going for it this time. Who's gonna come out on top of this one? I believe Onyx has to have it now. Gil's gonna have no way through. Aggressive stuff, but it's Onyx who comes out on top.
Yeah, it needs to be said, one thing to note here, usually we used to have Blizzard being the lobby host.
Spin! It's Blizzard spinning off. He should be alright, though. I was worried he might hit someone, but he's staying in the middle of the track. He's going to recover now.
Yeah, he's right there on the exit of turn 10. Zach, meanwhile, has left the session, so his ghost car is still running around, but he is no longer in control of that car. The one thing to note here is usually Blizzard used to be the lobby host as Diamond is looking for an overtake. This time it's Onyx who's actually the lobby host, so that's why he had such a good start. He had to then back off. That's why Gil came back in the second phase, because Onyx is the lobby host. He had the best start.
Spence hits into the side of Sammy Bean on the final corner. And he's hit the wall. Ooh. Virtual safety car. He's out of the race. Bit of a clumsy move at the end of lap 1, and we're going to have some pitters as well. We have Jordan retiring in the pits, actually. And we have Mishi and Fabi taking pits. Mishi retires as well. And like I say, if you have an incident on lap 1, it's effectively game over, isn't it, sadly? And I guess they're accepting that and just going home. But Fabi is sticking round. Yeah. So fair play.
I mean, yeah, fair enough. As we're waiting for everything here too, because the standings are slightly wrong here. We're waiting for Aero and Fabi to sort of get cleared at the end of Sector 1, which should happen for Aero now?
It's not happening. As we go green again, by the way. We have gone green. Anyone going to take advantage of that? I believe we're on the S's, aren't we? It's a difficult one to take advantage of. I'm sure someone will try. Yeah. So just ignore those top 2. They should eventually fall down. And now, well, Fabi has. He's 15th, and that's fair enough. We're just waiting for Aero now to go down, but it is still Onyx who led. And yeah, you are right there. He was lobby host. So yeah, it was a jump start, but he definitely backed it off. It has to be said. He fell down nearly to 4th place into turn 1. Don't really think there's much more he could have done there. And eventually, he actually made the move into turn 6, didn't he? To start all that off. So I would honestly say it's fair game on that one. I don't really see any reason for them to look at that, especially when it's a game problem.
Yeah, exactly. He did the honorable thing, let Gil by early on again. Jordan, meanwhile, leaves the session. Oh yeah, he was already
That's,
retired. Apologies.
Yes.
I thought he was still racing, but no, he retired in the pit lane. So it's a 004 Mercedes that early on. You don't see that in real F1 very often, but you do see it here at the PSGL F1, at least today or tonight. You do see it.
It does look like Arrow's car, thanks to Codemaster's incompetence, is genuinely a lap ahead of the field. It's not coming back down. It does say we're on lap 4 as well on the screen. I'm not really too sure what on earth is happening there, but it doesn't take this long normally. But we are on lap 3 for the rest of them, so do just look at this. Because they'll pass Arrow anyway at this rate by the end if it doesn't sort itself out. But this is why they tell you not to rejoin, because this happens.
Yeah.
And it's not the driver's fault, it's not Arrow's fault. This is, again, Codemasters don't know how to make games, so the second a little thing goes wrong in their little system, it ruins everything.
Yeah,
but
meanwhile, look at the whole train there from Onyx all the way down to Ashbest. Everyone within a second of each other, so everyone's going to have DRS down this long straight.
Mind you, this long straight, as long as it is just not going to have much overtaking at all, really, at least at the front. It's the classic here. There's no point fighting. I mean, we saw it in the esports event, didn't we? It was actually the rare occasion where they did actually fight, because it was in the last stint and they could go for it. But in the early stages, definitely, no matter what type of tier or series it is, you're not going to see much fighting here unless you're a mentalist. Or if someone ahead of you's made a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea is basically to say, you know what, let's try and pull a gap on whoever falls back first, whoever falls out of that 1 second window first. And right now, I think Table Clan might be in danger. You see the 8/10 he is behind Prinnan, so he might be the cutoff point if he does fall out of that 1 second. And you want to rip that gap open, and from that point, you just try to pull off into the distance, you know, drive into the sunset, happy end. No, of course, you know, you're trying to pull this gap bigger, 2 seconds, 3, 5, with the pit stop as well being that far away with everyone on the hards. I mean, you can really pull that gap before the pit stop, and an undercut isn't going to do that much for you.
Exactly, so unfortunately, we might have to find different ways to entertain ourselves, but I'm sure someone will do it. As you say, Table Clan is very close to falling outside that DRS range. He's not quite going to fall out of it this lap, but it might well be next lap. And this is what you're going to see from pretty much all of them. Not a single person, apart from Liam, actually, using his ERS, and that's why he's actually catching up to Recon. And he might go up into the points. He's going to hit Sammy Bing. Broke way too late. Surely that's a broken front wing, and indeed it is.
Yeah, someone got damaged there, that's for sure. We did see the front wing fly off, and it is Liam who goes into the pit lane. That was a very, very badly thought out maneuver right there.
Kind of backs our point up that, doesn't it? You're so you go for a move.
Especially that early, as he retires in the pit lane now. Especially that early, why do you try such an almost suicidal move? I mean, there's no reason for that on lap 6 of 20, or lap 5 even of 28.
Yes. Maybe not been thought out well, but well, at least someone tried. It does sadly put Sam in a bit of trouble, actually. He's got a lot of cars now behind him when he's got no DRS now.
Yeah, unless he gets back in. Unless he gets back into the DRS of Table Clan, which right now doesn't seem like it's going to be too easy. 1.4 seconds.
Yeah, look at, he's using his ERS just to try and pull away. Not a good sign, because when you have to do that, well, everyone else behind, they're still not going to use theirs. It just makes you a sitting duck, and well, Sammy Bean might be under some pressure here on the back straight. Very long straight, and Recon is using overtake. He will also be using DRS, and once he's caught up enough, he should be able just to pull alongside, make the move stick, hopefully not break too late. Look out for sparks as well if it does go a little bit wrong, but Recon has got that one done cleanly.
Yeah, so
I noticed Arrow's joined back, by the way. Not too sure why.
I think maybe to retire
the car or something, because it's not moving.
Hopefully retire the car. Where is the car? Yeah, he's still
He's in the lead, isn't it?
He shows in the lead, but
well, he is in the lead. Don't ask how, but it is. it's about to start lap 7 of this race. I mean, we're all sat on lap 6.
Yeah, but I hope he's just there to retire the car now, because this is giving us a bit of an issue here. And so let's hope that this car just disappears. But yeah, Onyx still leading ahead of Gil, then Thyman in third, Vast Racer fourth. Right now, we don't have the gaps between the cars either right now. That has disappeared for us as well, so we can't really tell where the gaps are. We have a yellow flag in sector 2.
That is Aero back in control of this car, I believe.
Might be.
Well, I hope so anyway. What's he going to do then? Because his car's not ghosted anymore. I mean, look at Fabi's or Zach's car.
I think he's just bringing it to the pit lane to then retire it there.
Yeah. That would be the sensible thing to do there. It just means that the lead is actually the lead rather than second place. Here comes Gil, by the way, for that lead.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Defensive onto the inside line, and Gil wants that exit. Again, we'll say it again, a bit risky, maybe a bit silly, but it just has Onyx on edge maybe that one. Means he might look in his mirrors a little bit more. But if it goes wrong again, the car behind will be ready to take advantage of it. But here comes Gil again. He could easily have went for that one, actually, because Onyx was had no speed on the straight. I wonder if Gil does fancy to be the leader of his pack, but it would be a silly decision, I reckon, if he did go for it, unless he feels he could pull away, which, let's be honest, is just not going to happen with this DRS train.
I mean, we see right now, in fact, Recon has gotten closer again to Table Clan. The gap is now just over a second. He's playing jump rope with that 1 second mark right now, as Aero is now in the pits, and I think, what we have said has now come true. So I just want to say at this point, thank you, Aero. Thank you, Aero, for retiring that car. Very much appreciated. Very sorry for that disconnection, but helps us out here with the commentary. So thank you very much for that.
It certainly does, but I mean, we are now down to 12 cars, I believe, whereas Fabi unghosted. He's unghosted.
Yeah, I think we're 13.
We're on to 13. So we're on 13 out of 19. A lot of people not happy with our starts, and that's just fine. We're all starting on the hards. If it goes wrong, go home, sadly, because there's nothing that they can do. It's over for you at that point.
It really is.
And the rest, luckily, apart from Fabi, unfortunately for him, and Blizzard had the spin, the rest of them all sort of in the DRS. Some are falling in and out of it, as you say, sort of can't decide if they want to be in or not. But regardless, they're all pretty much in the same picture as we watched them, so still nice, I guess.
Yeah, as Aero now falls down the order finally. So we have the top 11 now in their proper standings. Make that the top 12. And Fabi, where is oh, there you go, comes to the final corner now. Okay, yeah, so he's already way behind. Let's see the gap between Fabi and Blizzard right now, 11 seconds. I mean, for Fabi to somehow get into this, he needs a safety car really at this point, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's the only option, isn't it? Unless he, I'm not even going to suggest getting to the end, because it's not going to happen.
No, he's on mediums. They can do half the race, but they can't do the whole race.
So yeah, his only way back in is a safety car, isn't it?
Yeah, and the thing is, though, I gotta say, huge respect to Fabi for staying in this and maybe hoping for a safety car. I mean, it is certainly a bit more unlikely with 13 runners than it is with 18, 19 that we had at the start. But it still could happen, you know. It's still possible. As Onyx,
Gil's going for it. This is the same thing as we saw last time Gil went alongside.
I think
this time he's got a much better exit. But where is he going to go on that final corner? He's going to have to back off.
Yeah.
And maybe try again, because he's going to have a killer run down towards turn 1. He had this the same last time. And this time he's going to take the advantage. And Gil is going to be into the lead. There's contact between the two of them. Let's not take each other right now. And they're getting very close. How they haven't had an accident there is beyond me. But Onyx is keeping his nose in, as is Gil. Who's going to come out on top here? They're wheelbinding all the way around the first sector. Hard racing from the two at the front. Fighting for the championship. Fighting for the race win. And look at that. Onyx, I think, will keep it because Gil, surely he can't hold on there. Another little tap as well. Onyx holds on to the lead.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at that from the perspective of Thyman. I always love this. Looking at a battle from the guy right behind. I think it's the best angle you can get personally. And my goodness, they were side by side for 5 quarters. It was intense. And ultimately Onyx holds on, but that was a lot of battling. And the question you have to ask yourself really at some point, because we still have the top 9 within a second of each other, and Sammy being once again the guy falling off. The first time obviously because of the incident with Liam there. This time I don't think he has any excuse really, but I mean,
Gil's going for it again.
Yeah, it doesn't help you, does it? It doesn't help them.
Oh, they've hit again. What are these two up to? Stop hitting each other.
Oh.
Not a good idea, but now Onyx is off the track.
Yeah.
And Gil will be into the lead, and Onyx, well, I mean, I wouldn't fight this massively unless he thinks Gil is going to fly away into the distance, because he needs to save some of that ERS. That's probably why Gil went for it in the first place. I'm sure he's got an insider somewhere saying Onyx has no ERS, you can pass him now, he's not going to come back at you. Maybe that's why he did it, because as you can see, he's got way more ERS than Onyx. But it's Onyx. We just saw how he can fight, and you can see him already pushing Gil around. He said, yeah, you know what, you can see it in the lead now, but you know I'm going to be back past you in 5 minutes anyway. So Gil leads, potentially only momentarily, but we will find out.
Yeah, but I just questioned the whole idea. Like, why are you going for it there? You're trying to pull a gap. You're trying to work together early on in a Grand Prix. Trying to pull away.
Together. I'm telling you right now, Gil wants Onyx to fall all the way down this pack, and the same Onyx wants Gil to fall down this pack.
Yeah,
they're
fair enough.
Rivals. They're not working together in the slightest.
The championship's on the line, yeah.
So Gil certainly happy to let Feynman pass his teammate, but Feynman, he's in the championship fight, but he's not as much in it as Onyx is right now. So what is their dynamic going to be? They want the constructors. They can't go messing about as well. Plenty for those two to consider. Fast Racer though, yeah, he wants in this. Juiced, yeah, he wants in this. And Fast Racer is going to come into this now. He's trying to get himself nice and close to Feynman, just in case Onyx has any issues, because he is so low on ERS. And Feynman just looks to the inside of his teammates, and Fast Racer breaks super late as well. Juiced nearly made contact, and he's been overtaken actually by Prentice on the outside. Good opportunistic driving there from Prentice. You wouldn't have thought he was ever a factor, but there he's went around the outside. He's ahead of Juiced.
I mean, it was a very weird situation that into the happen. Everyone was having a little look and then backed off. And Juice was the only one who did it a bit too late. And so he left the door open on the exit for Prentice to take advantage of him. And Prentice says, well, you know, if you invite me like that, I'll step through the door. And Prentice took the position away from him. So everyone was so bunched up there that someone basically had to fall down a little bit, as we have Sparks there looking to go for an overtake on Table Clan, but decides against it ultimately. This is such a tight group here of 9 drivers still. I mean, this is remarkably close. And now Gil gets past Zach as well, who is obviously disconnected, but that could have been a factor as well in potentially giving DRS to the leader when, you know, the leader usually doesn't get DRS, but Gil clears Zach here before the detection point, and so Gil will still not have DRS, and the whole train behind does.
I don't think it really matters to him, but look at the it-tense. I think Onyx might be in a bit of trouble soon, and I think the guys behind him might be starting to realise that.
Yeah, you see how much he gains here.
Way past.
You see how much he gains here, 2/10 on that straight. I mean, and then you have the main straight as well, where he will gain some more.
Yeah, but then Gil will pull all the time back, if not more. So Onyx has to do something here, because he's got no ERS. He's got no ERS advantage. Gil has that advantage. He seems just a bit slower at this phase of the race. Pit stops will be coming round in the next sort of 5 laps, maybe, when a window might open, maybe a little earlier. Depends how ambitious these drivers feel. Depends how much Onyx feels he might want the undercut, because at this point, you'll be going on to new mediums. This undercut could be mega today, or it could be new softs. And so that is the dilemma again. Which undercut do you want to go for?
Yeah, that really is the question. Remember, the difference between the softs and the mediums is 1.3 seconds. So you do get an advantage if you go for the mediums early, but if you do go for the softs late, I mean, we're talking a second and a half, because obviously even more maybe, because obviously the mediums are used already by the time you go, other drivers go on to softs. And so we could talk about 2 seconds a lap.
And this is why this whole top 9 is definitely still in this, because they're all in that pack. One of them pulls the trigger, and it throws this whole race into a very interesting point of chaos.
I would say the top 11 are still in this. I mean, Ashbest and Samuel Bean, they're not out of this. They're just 3 seconds behind this whole group.
There goes
Sparks on Table Clan. I mean, he made it look easy. We didn't see much because of the... We didn't see much because of the in-game cameras being focused on the cars themselves and not really, you know, looking from the outside, but being, you know, choosing the cameras that are on the cars. So it didn't really help much, but, you know, it looked easy.
Pit window is now open. So
for the mediums,
that trigger? Who wants to pull that trigger? Who thinks it's worth pulling that trigger? Onyx all over the road, but he's now getting closer to Gil, actually, and he's saving the DRS, but so is Gil. That might be why he's catching, actually. They're not on equal ground, and that means the DRS actually can be effective.
Yeah, I gotta say, though, if you go for the undercut this early, I mean, yes, the mediums can go slightly more than half race distance, but I mean, this is still an undercut, I mean, from the top rope, basically. I mean, you're not just sending it, you're sending it. This is so early. The hards are still in very good condition. So
try telling Onyx that he is struggling so much.
Oh yeah, true. Is he going to be the one to pull the trigger, maybe?
If he pulls the trigger, if he's already struggling after 13 laps on hards, he's hardly going to do much better on mediums, is he? That is really difficult for him. So what does he do? Because right now he's struggling so much for pace, and he's holding this whole pack behind him. He's lucky it's his own teammate who's the first car behind, because with a faster race, totally different story, I think.
Oh yeah, but the question is, maybe Gil goes for the undercut here and says, you know what, I'm gonna cover all of you off, and no, he doesn't.
It's Feynman goes for it. Who else? Prinens, Juiced, Sparks. He just got a penalty. I wonder if we'll get that removed. That seemed a bit odd for the pit entry, that. But
yeah, he might get that removed.
Yeah, I reckon he'll get that removed.
So 4 drivers go for the medium. I mean, if they go for the soft, they've chosen the wrong car, the wrong tire. Sorry, then they've made the wrong choice in the menu, or the game bugs out. All 4 on the mediums.
Then. Do the rest of them, the other 5, let's say, in that main boat, do they react now, or do they stick out for a few more potentially painful laps? They'll feel painful for them, and just go for sauce at the end? Because if they've got if anyone had the full map on, they might notice that all these pitters are just come out behind Fabi, who, well, he's going to do a lot of laps on these tires. Probably still, he's got another 5 in him, hasn't he? So
yeah, certainly.
That could hold this up a little bit. Won't help this undercut. And Feynman, well, he'll want to get by on his first attempt. He probably will, but either way, he'll still get held up. And others like Prinen's Juice, they will get held up.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you really have to think about it. Like, do you want to be stuck behind Fabi? Do you want to come out of the pit lane and be stuck there? Oh, Simon thinks about it for a second, but decides against it. I think it's a smart call, because if he overtakes there into turn 11, then all of a sudden Fabi gets the DRS off of him and can re-overtake him, and he would be stuck there longer. So now...
Top 3 in the pits, top 4 now, top 5, and there's a crash in the way in. Recon has just hit into the back of Table Clan, and he's not going to hit the wall. Just about saves it. No, who got damaged there? Did Recon get damaged? I couldn't see.
I don't know, but Thyman and Prince both made it past Fabi, and Thyman and Prince on a side-by-side. Thyman and Prince on a side-by-side into the final corner. Oh my goodness.
My goodness. That's risky stuff. Blizzard, the only one disturbed, by the way. Will he look at the softs as we see Prince's pull clear? And well, that's clear into a net second place. Onyx is behind Faster Racer. He's fallen way off.
Oh, wow.
And Fabi's hitting Juice there as Juice goes by, and he's up to P5 or net P4. So that's almost a net P6 at the minute. And yeah, well, he'd fallen out of the DRS range. It was coming, this, wasn't it? Well, Sparky passed him on this lap. Fabio might well certainly assist that, because Onyx, yeah, he was struggling and he will keep struggling by the looks of it. But Gil, that's worked out beautifully for him. He's now maybe he got Prentice behind. I don't know how he'll feel about that one, but not Onyx anymore, and that's exactly what he probably wanted to happen. His rival is gone-ish.
Yeah, now I'm looking at Blizzard and thinking, what is he going to do? Is he also going to pit for the mediums just another lap later than everyone and fall down to P13, or is he going to try the risky one?
Try something different. He's already at the back of the train anyway. Try something different.
At this point, he's kind of tied into it. He has to try something different. Stay out and go for softs, but is he going to? That's the question. Or is he going to say, you know what, I'd rather hope that maybe there's a safety car or something. I mean, if he gets a safety car now, maybe, I mean, he'd be golden, wouldn't he? I mean, he loses about, what, 10, 12 seconds in the pit lane. He would actually be within the pack all of a sudden.
Yeah, he's got no choice now. So it's either safety car or softs, really. Or safety car and softs.
Yeah, or that, yeah.
The benefits could be massive for him if he gets the right timing on anything.
Yeah.
And he has to try something, or else he'll just stay at the back of that train, and where's the fun in that? And it means all these leaders might have a chance of catching him. Maybe not, actually. 5 seconds? Possibly not. We'll see, though, because I mean, they were pretty rapid, and Gil is out of the DRS range now, so he's running clear.
I mean,
he keeps saying he's not going to win it, but he is, isn't he? He's really proven himself now, Gil. Every week he just turns up, he seems really, really, really on it.
Yeah, I mean, well, Onyx and Sparks have both cleared Fabi as well now. And I gotta say, yeah, Gil is doing a fantastic job right now. The other thing I wanted to say is, after the pit stop, Gil was 7 seconds behind Blizzard. The gap has come down to under 5 now. So it certainly seems like there is an opportunity there.
Well, we'll see how that goes, because, like I say, if Gil does catch Blizzard, could be fascinating to see how they deal with that. I'm sure the second Blizzard gets caught, time to pit. But yeah, we'll see what happens as Table Clan now gets by Fabi 2. They're quite hard, they're fighting there. That's because Recon's trying to get by Table Clan as well. And there's contact, but Recon has to sit back and wait. And Sparks is climbing all over the back of Onyx. It's a matter of time, that one, isn't it? With Onyx being outside the DRS range.
Yeah, 1.6 seconds. I mean, at this point, I think net P1 is clear. Then we have net second, third, fourth, and fifth, all the way from Prince of Vassar. So 3 VSR guys and Juiced together there in one group. Then we have Onyx and Sparks together. Then we have Recon, Table Clan, and Fabi. The question is, how long can Fabi stay in that group until he has to pit? I mean, at this point, it's going to be about, what, 1 or 2 laps?
Yeah, it's
and then we have
soon,
Ashbest and Sammy Bean sort of on their own. But the battle for P2 to P5, the net P2 to P5, that I think is about to heat up. We have Prince leading that train right now, Thyman behind, Vasta Race. I mean, Williams want to take back the lead in the Constructors title as well. They're down 14 points now in Racing Point. They had the lead before Japan, lost it there by getting a 0-0. And they want it back as Mish has left. Oh, he was retired a long time ago. That pops up out of nowhere. It always confuses me. But you have this one racing point there with there's one racing point with Thyman. They're still in there, and then Onyx still in P7. You know, still with an opportunity to score about 4 points, maybe 5 if he gets the fastest lap as well. But I mean,
Blizzard's just gonna get that, isn't it? Let's be honest. I do worry for Onyx actually, because he might be maybe one of Blizzard's targets, depending on how much time has been lost. Because Blizzard, have you noticed, has been saving his ERS all the way up. He's not going to be slow because he's going to be absolutely quali lap to the end by the looks of it. Or let me be evil here for a minute and say he's actually doing it so we can ruin the leader's races and give us something interesting to watch. Please defend for your life.
I mean, he is entitled to it.
Yeah.
I've heard this discussion many a time that if the leader's on a different strategy and still has to pit, he shouldn't fight the other cars who are in the net lead. No. We're not doing that. You are entitled to do it. It is legal to do so. It's a battle on track. And I mean, if Blizzard does want to get involved, just try and not make contact. But even then,
he's using the ARS, so he is using it a little bit.
Yeah.
Don't tease me.
He has a lot of it left, by the way.
This is it. Like I say, he saved it all. What's the tactic here, Blizzard?
Gil goes for the move down the inside, and I think at this point it's AlphaTauri on Red Bull. I mean, you can't really hold him up too much, junior team, senior team, you can't really do much there, can you?
They don't care.
Fair enough. But
And
I mean, at some point now,
he's coming back at him. Gil defends it. He feels the pressure. Blizzard. He's just trying to put Gil under the pressure.
Yeah.
And Prinnan, you see, Prinnan didn't really catch him very much, so it doesn't really matter. I think Blizzard's just doing it for his own fun at this point.
I mean, you gotta give yourself some entertainment. But also, when is Blizzard gonna pit now? Is he gonna go in lap 19 for 9 laps of softs? I think that might actually be possible. 10 laps, as you said earlier, might be a little bit much. But 9 laps, I think those softs could do that.
Lighter car, certainly, I'd imagine it can do that.
Oh, yeah.
Is it me, though, or is Prinnan's actually really not that fast at the moment in this train? Because it's let Onyx catch back up relatively comfortably, hasn't it? Sparks obviously with him. Recon might well be there too in the not too distant future, i.e. possibly at the end of this lap. And well, if Blizzard say does stay out another lap, they'll catch him, and that could be pretty interesting because I don't think it'll be much of a pushover for that one, but we'll see.
What do you do if you're Thyman? Are you trying to go for the move on Prinnan? Are you trying to say, hey, you know what, you're so slow, you're slowing me down. Now that Onyx has caught up, obviously Thyman is going to look at that and is going to say, hey, you know what, my teammate is now here. That means I can make the move now. Or do you say, you know what, I'll stick behind for now, trying to save my...
out.
Yeah, one more lap.
Lovely.
Does Thyman say, you know what, I'll stay here until lap 25, 26, and then I'll take that second place off you?
Well, there's a lot of thinking to be done right now, but the first thing, like I said, they're going to have to think about is what on earth do they do about Blizzard? That's going to throw all this into a sort of react to who the first guy ahead of you crashes into at this point. Because this could get very entertaining indeed on this back straight. Because these guys will easily catch him, won't they? So, yeah, this train all the way from it will be second down to 8th. And the guy at the front of that train is going to be a tractor.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way to put it. It's going to be interesting. Will Prinnan be able to clear Blizzard? And also, what is this going to do for Blizzard's pit entry? I mean, the pit entry round here, it's a tricky one, isn't it? I mean,
you flat out when everyone else is in the braking zone. It's a difficult one, yeah. That might
it's
be
like Canada.
It's Canada, yeah. It's Canada, but worse, honestly.
I mean, is it though? I don't think it is worse. I think it's the same.
You don't get that much side by side into the last chicane at Canada, do you? Unless you're really stupid.
Oh no, you do. You do.
Here.
You definitely do.
Well, maybe if you're not sensible.
But Blizzard's still ahead. I think Blizzard's going to use this opportunity to... No!
Wow.
What?
Look at this. Here comes Feynman now. Onyx just got a penalty while defending from Sparks. But now, Prinnan is going to be absolutely... he's not going to like that.
Yeah, it might be, however, that Onyx is going to get that penalty removed because he did get one of the warnings for that penalty, potentially. I don't know if he did, but he was battling with Gil earlier on the exit of the hairpin, and Gil did shove him off the track, and so it might be that Onyx may have gotten a penalty there, or a warning there, at which point the whole penalty might get removed if he doesn't get any more warnings. So... this is, some things can still change. I think this is a penalty we need to treat carefully because, again, I think he may have gotten a warning earlier for a battle with Gil where Gil pushed him off the track, so it didn't leave him the space on track and pushed him onto the runoff area.
Right, so Well, a shadow of doubt, they will have to attack Blizzard here.
Oh, yeah.
On this back straight because Prince,
Oh!
he's going up the inside because, oh my goodness, Blizzard had a massive slide there and Prince wants to take his opportunity now. He's had another slide.
Oof.
He's all over the show. Juiced is flying along as well, really went by Fireman, but look at the run that Fireman's going to get. Where does he go? He's going to have to try and break lit. How many cars does he pass into there? He only going to get Blizzard. And Blizzard now in that difficult position for when he pits. He has to be this lap or else he's ruining his race.
He's staying out.
Staying out. So
How?
he's going to just keep with it because...
Did
what's
someone...
he going to lose? He's going to lose or he's going to lose slowly.
I mean, no offense here to Blizzard, but did someone tell him that he actually has to use a different tire compound this race? Or else he gets disqualified by the game?
Contact. I mean, Blizzard, if he pits now, he falls to the back. If he stays here, he falls to the back. It's lose or lose slowly, effectively. Let's have the entertaining one, you know?
Yeah, at least that, yeah.
Yeah. Defending, you see, from all the cars that are coming through. Love to see that.
Some wheel banging there as well between Blizzard and Vaster Racer. And now Vaster Racer makes a pass on traction there on the exit of turn 6. And Blizzard is falling down place after place. And meanwhile, Prince, Thyme, and Juice, Vaster Racer, Onyx is going to get past him rather shortly as well, I would imagine. There we go. Oh! You saw it in the background there. Jesus, that was very, very dangerous there. Ooh, I think now the two Alfa Romeos are trying to get him.
Talk about aggressive, man. Here we go again. I mean, surely he picks this lap now. He's had his fun.
I mean, yeah. He's had enough fun for a whole race in 5 laps.
Fast Racer's going to go for this now on the outside of Juice. He wanted the inside, but it was defended very well by the AlphaTauri driver. And look at that. Nearly no space left for Fast Racer, but he now gets the inside line for the final corner. And surely he's going to give Juice the treatment that he was just given. But now they're racing cleanly out of ERS there for Fast Racer on the run towards the finish line. But now he gets an extra little boost and he's up into 4th place ahead of Juiced.
I mean, look at that VSR crew now in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. That is some team dominance. I know that obviously Thyman is in a different team than Prince and Vaster Racer. Those two at Williams, Thyman at Racing Point. But I mean, those 3 are going to be very happy with that if that's how they finish. By the way, Owen, could you quickly check the penalties for... I would say at this point it's probably interesting for the top 9, including Table Clan.
Nothing for Gil. Nothing for Trinens, nothing for Feynman, nothing for Vaster Racer, nothing for Juiced. Onyx has a penalty, Sparks has a penalty, Recon, nothing, Table Clan, nothing.
Oh wow, so only Onyx and Sparks then?
Yep.
Oh wow.
They've all been pretty clean, and well, we're not at that point where we've got 6 laps to go. And ERS levels are all running pretty low for everyone, effectively. So, about time they start fighting, don't you think?
Oh yeah, for sure. And here goes Simon.
Simon's on the inside.
And Onyx on Juiced as well in the background. We can't really have
hit each other hard there.
Yeah.
But it is Onyx ahead. He's got to be aggressive, I guess. He knows he's
and
losing.
Juiced now getting mugged off by Sparks almost as well. And here's the thing. You mentioned earlier the 2 CRG guys having the penalties.
Yeah, look at this. Simon's on the outside of turn 1. He's got no ERS left, so he's got to make this stick now. And that's a risky move to make. He's going to have a little bit of contact potentially through the next part, but now they're keeping it clean. Simon's through.
Wow, what
He's
a move.
He's got no ERS. He's got no ERS. He's going to be a sitting duck on the next straight. Surely.
I mean, at this point, oh yeah, Prince has plenty of ERS still left, over 30%. Thyman has almost nothing, so at this point, yeah, Prince should breeze past him easily. However, Prince, they're sliding through that turn 8, apologies, turn 8, that right-hander. And so that might hurt his chances here.
There'll be team orders here for these two, surely. Faster racer, front ends, let faster racer pass for the championship.
Could very well happen. I mean, for Williams, it doesn't make much of a difference in the constructors, obviously, if they just switch positions here. But at the same time, is that really going to happen? Are they actually going to do that? It doesn't seem like it just yet. Maybe. Here's what I'm thinking. They're going to try that lap 28 if they're still next to each other.
Yes. How has he got away with that? Well, he hasn't really got away with that. Onyx has got straight past him because Fast Racer really went into the back of his own teammate.
Oh, wow. Oh! Almost a spin there, I think, from Vasa Racer. I was a little hard to see from the camera angle, but I mean, that was very, very close there. And
he's probably just surprised by how Onyx just mugged him off there. And Onyx, well, he's finding the pace again. He's up to 4th now. Can he try and put us up to 2nd? Again, Feynman slowed him down. I'm in the fight for the championship, man.
Yeah, this is gonna get really, really spicy here. 4 laps left, and it's all to play for everyone. I mean, but Gil just has to not spin, really, not bin it, and he's gonna take the victory here. But for everyone else, I mean, even for Table Clan and P9, if he makes some moves, which, to be fair, is very hard to do, but not impossible, he could move up all the way to 2nd place, potentially. I mean, again, very unlikely, but possible.
Well, we'll find out exactly how this all goes at the end, because it's at this point where all these front runners they're going to start getting aggressive. They have to.
Oh, yeah.
Onyx, he is all over the road. I wonder if Fast Racer will still actually have a chance to get back past him. He's going to hit 0 nearly on the ARS though, so he's got to get this done now. And oh, look at that head as well. Prudence goes on around the outside of Feynman. Fast Racer tries the same thing, but except he's going to go and cut back. And both racing points ahead of both the Williams in their respective fights. And that's a big hit as Fast Racer pushes Onyx on the final corner. He's not going to let Onyx stay ahead for much longer. He's really aggressive. He wants past. He's not going to let Onyx benefit from his mistakes again. He's trying to cover, but Onyx sees him coming. Where's Sparks in all this? There he is. He's on the back of those two now. And Fast Racer's going to get very annoyed soon. He can't believe he lost the position in the first place. He's going to be even more annoyed to find he might end up losing more.
Yeah, but at this point, I think the annoyance that he has inside himself, it's kind of hurting him because he's using Blizzard's off, yeah, and Fabi as well. Oh, both retired in the pit lane.
I had a bit of fun there.
Yeah, I think so.
just give it up now.
But I mean, you know, at this point, the annoyance that the Voss Racer has, it's hurting him because he's just using the ERS everywhere. Look at this right here. He's using it. Why? He's not saving it up for the long straight.
Oh, Prince. This may be a bit worse from the further end, but he is putting Simon under the biggest amount of pressure you've ever seen as he comes on with the back straight. Gil is checked out, by the way. 7 seconds clear. He can just relax now. He can probably sit the stream on and watch this because everything behind him is extremely entertaining. Here comes Prince. Wow, they're finding wheels down the back straight. But Prince is ahead into the hairpin, and Feynman now gives him a little bit of a touch on the exit. They're really going for it, these two. And it's going to be Feynman who gets the DRS down towards turn 1. He never even turned off the ERS as Prentice has a huge slide. I have a feeling he didn't turn it off either. But now Feynman gets to run towards turn 1. And Prentice defends. He moves twice on the way, and that could be judged a little bit moving under the braking zone, but I think they'll get away with it as Feynman is right round it to the turn 1-2 and then down the inside for 3. Wheel binding again, these two, and Feynman will have the run on the exit, but so will Prentice on the run towards turn 6, and he's now got the more ERS to go for it on the inside, but Feynman breaks later, but there, finally,
and here comes Onyx.
Nah, you're not going for this, this is mine, and Onyx says, nah, you're not going for it either, I'm going to take advantage of that, because he is up to 3rd place now, and he wants Prentice, he wants to regain that 2nd place. What a hectic lap so far, and Feynman's not going to enjoy that one bit.
Yeah, we got one more left to go, and the biggest issue is that I'm thinking of right now is that Gil's going to come across the line, and these guys are probably still battling. Like, what are we going to do?
They might be through the chicane by then. You watch Gil cross the line. I'll keep you updated on everything that's going on.
Okay.
I hope.
We still have one more lap, so we can prepare for this. But I mean,
because let's see where Gil ends up. I'll keep an eye on where Gil ends up. Hold on here, because I don't think anyone's actually going for anything, are they? At this point, they're sort of holding fire for a second. My goodness.
The defending, us race is defending from Sparks.
Right, so Gil will be crossing the line now, so they'll all have got through the hairpin by then. So hopefully, anything they decide to do, we will catch. And Onyx. Wouldn't it be extraordinary to get that P2 back? Because you know what? He's going for it on the other side of turn 1. Onyx on front ends. Look at this again. The wheel bind all the way through there. We saw how this ended last time with one of them getting mugged. And Onyx is down the inside.
Oh, and he opens it up for his teammate as well. Fireman slipping through.
It's going through. And he's surely going to get him Onyx second. He should be clear now because Prez will be more worried about Feynman, but they're both going on the inside. They both want to make moves, and it's Feynman that's going to get his done if he keeps it on the road, and they're wheel binding all the way through towards the S section, and that's going to have Fast Racer very interested indeed because these two are being way too aggressive for their own good in this particular section of track. And Feynman is still fourth, but Onyx up to second again.
I mean, this is absolutely scintillating stuff right now. We still have the long straight and we still have the hairpin left to go. And look at how close this is.
That was a big again. Fast Racer into the back of Feynman, and that might just halt his progress. In fact, it will, you know. That might set up Fast Racer. It might set up Sparks. It might set up Juice. It might set up Recon. It might set up Tailclan. And it's all going to be trying to pass Feynman. Look at that side by side. We know Gil's coming for the end of lap 9, but we're going to be 3 wide into the last hairpin. Oh my goodness. Oh, Sparks. That was really tight. Gil's won the race as he crosses the line. But look at this. They're going for it into the final corner. Faster Racer and Feynman off the track. But look at the run. Faster Racer's got him. And that was out of fuel. Onyx's penalty puts him back down. And Recon ended up 5th as well. Feynman ran out of fuel on the line.
What did we just witness?
What a race.
That was incredible. I mean, we hyped this up at the start of the race. We said, you know,
rightfully so.
Yeah, we said, look, if this is going hard to medium, hard to soft, they're going to be battling hard towards the end. And I mean, they did. They really, really did. Gil, I wasn't even able to switch on to him, honestly. I apologize to Gil, because obviously, you know, it would have been great to see him cross the line, but I mean, there was so much battling going on, we couldn't get away from it. We had to show that, and into the final corner, ultimately, the two Williams drivers here, Prinens and Vasta Racer, on the podium, and my goodness, what this is an instant PSGL classic that I think everyone is going to look back on and think, do you remember season 26 China in the F1? What a race that was. Gil wins, Prin in second, Vasta Racer third, Thyman fourth, Recon fifth, Juice sixth, Onyx 7, Table Clan 8, Ash Best 9, Sparks 10. That fastest lap by Zach is not true. Same goes for fastest lap by Air. Also, yeah, we're not asking questions. Fastest lap is set by... Is that Gil? 32.2. No, Blizzard. So no one gets it. Blizzard 30.8, of course, on the soft. So no one gets a point for the fastest lap. But, I mean, that was a race and a half. And do we have the top 3? Do we have someone in the waiting room right now? We do not, but...
I feel they might have slightly forgotten and all that mental racing at the end. I can't believe Feynman ran out of fuel on the line. He's going to be furious because I think he had that. He had that. And then it just fell away. They must have been they were pushing it to the line. It was very hard racing towards it, but yeah. Recon nearly even got him as well, but what a finish. And we love this track. The drivers hate it, but that's why we love it. Because it forces them to have proper fighting out there. They hate that. They absolutely hate that because it means that it's all going to go wrong for them at some point. But for once, it was a superb race for them. And they all didn't crash as well. All in that lead fight, no one had any accidents, which is always good to see.
Yeah, meanwhile, I just saw something. Oh, okay, I just saw something. They cannot actually access the waiting room. We're gonna have to. But they should be able to enter the PSGL voice chat on the Discord, and maybe that way we can get them in. So we should still be able to do this. It's just that, it's going to be a little bit more of an issue, but, it should be fine.
But by the way, as far as I can actually tell, based on what some people are saying in the chat, might not be true, might well be, but I don't think you can actually get penalties removed unless there's a really good reason for it, but I'm sure we'll find out. I'd say if there's a justifiable reason, which there might well be, then penalties would get removed, but we will find out, of course, in due course.
Yeah, we will keep you updated on that next week. Prinins has joined, fantastic, so we can actually at least have Prinins, and I'm going to drag him in right now. Hello, Prinins. Congratulations on second place.
Shit.
What? Okay, we apologize for that.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way to greet us. So, Prince, can you hear us?
Oh,
he left. Okay. Huh.
that was insightful.
Yeah, that was a bit surprising.
Loving the one-word answers there.
Yeah, but I mean, let's look at the driver standings right now. I mean, Gil wins, so he's going to be up to 85 points now. Master Racer got third, so he's going to be at 69. So that is a 16-point gap. That's massive. Onyx got... What was his ultimate position? Seventh. So he gets 4 points, so he's a 58. Where was Sparks? He also dropped down, didn't he? He was like 8th or 9th, right?
10th, I think.
10th, wow. So he gets 1 point, so he's a 48. Blizzard, obviously retired. So Thyman, I think, he might actually move up quite significantly. He got 4th, didn't he?
I think so,
yeah,
yes.
So that would be 8 points. So he's going to go up to 51. And we're going to have the Racing Point drivers basically right next to each other there. Interesting that. Prinins obviously moves up as well to 36 now. So he's going to be inside the top 10. He's going to be in P9 in the standings. And if you look at the team standings with... the two Williams on the podium and scoring 22 points, that puts them at 105. With Racing Point scoring 8 and 4, that's 12. So they're at 109. My goodness. That's a 4-point gap between Racing Point and Williams. And AlphaTauri got the 16 off of Gil, and I think that was it. I don't think Juice got any points, did he?
We must have done. He got 6.
Oh, he got 6. Oh, wow. So that's another 5 points then.
Yes.
So they're at 100. Oh, we have the top 3 teams with the 9 points for the next race. If, provisional standings, etc. But we have the top 3 teams with the 9 points. In the driver's standings, it's a lot clearer, as I said. Yeah. Gil 16 ahead of Master Racer.
No money for the constructors then. We gotta get Connor to give them a cash prize as well. Because that is just something. I mean, that whole race as well. I mean, it really was just Racing Point Williams, AlphaTauri all the way through there. I mean, Alfa Romeo got in there a little bit, but for once, I think it's the first time this season we've seen all 3 of those all up front, all fighting. So they're really working for it.
Yeah, I mean, this was a fantastic race all in all. I gotta say, this, I think all-time classic, honestly, already.
Oh, yeah. I don't think it quite tops the esports race, but certainly I'd say best race of the season.
I mean, certainly of this season in the F1 so far, best race. I think that we can safely say. But, I mean, we still have... This is the greatest thing. We still have 4 races left in the season. And,
yes.
I mean, next race is Bahrain.
The pad track here. Well,
yeah.
It's true.
I've heard...
It's not even a lie. I won that track on my pad as well last year.
Didn't you say you only won races where it rained? I'm pretty sure it didn't rain in Bahrain.
ILR, but we don't talk about that league.
Okay, I was
but
about
I
to
did
say.
win.
Yeah.
On a pad. So Gil,
okay, do we have...
On
Oh, we have... Hold on, we have all three in the waiting room now. Fantastic. So I'm going to drag them in one by one. And they're all in now. Hi, guys. Congratulations on the podium. I think we're going to start with Gil. Gil, congratulations on winning this race. 16 points now. Your gap in the championship ahead of us, Racer. What's that going to mean for the next 4 races? How are you going to approach Bahrain? Any different than usual?
Of course, that's great for the championship, but I don't care about it. I take the race next by. I'm focused on the next race, so we'll see in Bahrain. I don't know. I could be fast, maybe. We'll see.
All right.
Well, you're on a pad, so some say that the pad's very good there. You must feel a bit confident.
Not really. It's not my best track. I don't know if it's a pad track.
I won there once. It must be a pad track.
Some players says that the pad is not faster than the previous game, so I don't know.
I was going to ask quickly as well about your fight with Onyx earlier on, because that sort of it set you up really, because you didn't seem to have that much of a difficult time after that. So what was that fight like with Onyx?
It was very close sometimes. I was not hurried to overtake him because I had time. But sometimes he tries, when I go around the outside, he tried to stay side by side by hitting my rear tire. He did this 2 times, so I don't know if it's allowed. But anyway, I managed to overtake him, so it was good.
All right, and then the last question I would have for Gil, in the Constructors' Championship, we now see that AlphaTauri is in 3rd if the results as they were stand, which most likely they will. 9 points behind the championship leading team. Are you looking at the Constructors' Championship at all, or is that something that just doesn't bother you?
Oh, 9 points. It's very... it's not much, so everything is possible. I don't know, I have a fast teammate, so I'm pretty sure he can do podiums because he have the speed. So maybe we'll see in the last races.
All right, Owen. Who are we gonna go for next? Prinens, right? 2nd place.
Well, we've got to go for Prinens, yeah, and well. I think I'm going to ask it to Masters as well, but we'll ask it to Prinens first. That fight at the end. I know you drivers always say you hate this track, but come on. What a fight at the end. You must have loved that.
Yeah, the track is pretty good for this kind of fights because you have always corner right and then left. So at the first time, the driver who is on the right is on the inside, and then the driver who's on the left side is then the second time on the inside. So the track is good for fights, but I don't like it because of the corners that are not pretty good for me.
All right. We saw you battling, I mean, basically all race. Did you ever think, because oftentimes we see this where after a couple of laps and on most tracks you have sort of a split where all of a sudden someone's falling out of the DRS and then this gap opens up more and more. We didn't see this except for Gil just driving off. But P2 to P9 were all in a group, basically all race. Did that surprise you? Do you put that down to the way the track is, or what do you think was the reason for everyone staying that close together?
I think the main reason was that I had to use all my RAS as I overtook Timon. So I had only 30% for the last 12, 13 laps, so I was not really fast. And yeah, I think I was too slow for everyone. So
that's one way to put it.
yeah, that's it.
But I mean, you still came out with P2 in the end.
What did you say?
You still came out with P2 in the end.
Yeah, pretty lucky that Onyx had a 3-second time penalty. But yeah, after turn 1, I was not expecting this result, to be honest.
All right. Oh, and do you have any more questions for Prince?
Well, nothing anymore for you, but just want to say congratulations again on the fight, because it was fantastic. And to come out on top of that, well done.
Thanks.
All right, and then we move on to third place, Vaster Racer. I think the first thing we have to talk about is obviously the championship. The gap is now 16 points. Obviously, Gil won, so the gap has opened up a little bit. What do you think in the last 4 races? Obviously, with people saying that Bahrain is a pad track and Gil is on the pad. Do you fancy? I have to ask that, okay? Do you still fancy your chances around Bahrain? And generally, in the last 4 races, how much of a chance would you give yourself?
Yeah, of course, I will give it all, but the next 2 tracks are probably with China my 2 worst. Especially Canada. Bahrain, I think, is okay. But what are the last 2 races?
USA and Brazil.
Yeah, that are really nice tracks. So, yeah, the next 2 races, I think I won't be as good. But as you already saw in the first races, and here happens everything. You could start P20 and go to first, like. It's really chaotic, so I don't think the championship is over.
All right, Owen?
Just want to ask again about the fights, but especially the one at the end, when you were side by side with Feynman on that final corner. That was superb throughout, but I must say that must have been the most tense part for you. What was that one like? Because I was going mad in the commentary box. That was crazy.
Yeah, in the moment I wasn't liking it, but after that I really thought like that was a really nice battle. But of course it was very, very tense, and I also had to think about the championship. So yeah, I couldn't make any mistakes or like one touch, and the championship is pretty much over.
All
right.
I've got nothing else really. I think
Same.
again, though, just to say congratulations again on the podium and good luck for the rest of the championship as well. Remember, there is money in for it. I know everyone seems to forget this, but even if you don't win the championship, there's still money in there. You got to be thinking about that now.
Yeah, but it's mostly about fun.
This isn't what a race anymore. This isn't what a race anymore.
All right, and with that, we will be back next week. That will be October 19th, once again, 8 p.m. UK time, and then it will be in the desert. It will be around Bahrain, and I think with that, we had finally the post-race interviews back, but I think with that, Owen, we're probably going to bring this to a close, aren't we?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next week for round 11, the Bahrain Grand Prix. Goodbye.